Okay, we should be live.
Okay, we're live?
We should be.
Okay, so hello everybody. Welcome back to the rOilers podcast. Episode 17, I guess it is. Paging Dr. Drai. Myself, Paul McCartney here. We have Adam, Sheet 44722. And we might have Arun Take 5 join us. We'll see what's going on
He's dead
with
for the
his
moment.
computer. So yeah, let's just dive into it. So let's just start off with Connor McDavid and Jordan Eberle. They've been playing together. Really good chemistry. Do you keep them together? Do you sell Eberle while the value is high? What do you do?
It's kind of a tough one. I mean, you can see the argument to both sides, really. With Eberle playing as good as he is, you're getting what they had 12 points in the one game against Toronto. They've produced in just about every game except for two, I think, where the team didn't do all that well in either game. So I almost think you have to keep him, but at the same time, we need a defenseman. I think what you do with Eberle at this point is you have to sell him because McDavid has proven to be able to play with. Has already proven to play with Yakupov. He's been able, him and Hall started the season not too great, but they're both great players. They could figure it out. And what more to me at this point is that we need centermen. We're running Hendricks as a 4C and Letestu is a 3C right now, and it's working terribly.
Yeah, I can see that. I think we were talking about this last week, though. It's like out of Hall, Nugent Hopkins, and Eberle, something's going to have to give there at some point.
Yeah, and I think for me at this point, after seeing the games this week, for me it's Eberle not has to go, but has the most value that we can afford to lose right now. For me at the trade deadline, though, I think that becomes more of an issue when we see where we're sat. I think they might wait till after the season to trade him. What do you think?
Yeah.
Well,
I would try to do actually, yeah, I would agree with that. Just because what we're aiming for is first line defenseman. And we can't get that unless we wait for the regular season to end.
James, what do you think then?
With Eberle specifically, or
with either trading a player or who goes and why or when?
Well, yeah, I don't know. When I think about it a little bit more, I think that things are going to probably wait until the summer. Like, I don't think there's going to be any major dominoes falling at the trade deadline. Perimeter players like Schultz, maybe Purcell, those players I could see going, but core players like Eberle or Nuge, I don't think anything's going to happen until the summer. And I don't think that it's even going to happen this summer because they still have a few years on their deals, and salary cap is not an issue for the Oilers quite yet until McDavid's contract is up and they sign him for 9.7 over 8 years. So, yeah.
Yeah, I think my reasoning, if I can explain a little bit behind the whole keeping Eberle until the summer, is that we don't know what kind of value we're going to get for him. There could be. We do know what kind of value we can get, but not necessarily what we will get. It gives us more time to maybe even up his value more, although it can't really get much higher. But the other side of it is, what happens if we pop outside of the top 5, and then we don't have Puljujarvi or Laine or even Matthews, somebody that can replace him, Tkachuk. Then we're stuck without a forward that can produce. So my reasoning with and I think this is what the Oilers might go with too over the summer, is that you wait until the trade deadline, push a little bit, see where the market is at, and then when you come closer to the trade deadline, when you come closer to the draft, and you know precisely where you're going to draft, then you can make the decision whether to trade Eberle or then trade a pick. For me, is rather than Nugent Hopkins or Eberle, it's trade the pick or trade Eberle.
So that's post-draft or pre-draft?
I think you go pre-draft because your pick obviously has more value before the draft.
Yeah, okay.
So,
I can agree with that.
To me, that just makes more sense.
Yeah, okay. I can get down with that. Are you still there, Arun, or?
He's MIA.
Yeah, okay. That's fine.
Sorry, my internet keeps dropping on me.
Yeah, you might be better to just drop entirely.
What was
Be
the
gone.
question? I can answer it.
Is it Eberle? You trade Eberle or Nuge, and when do you do it, and for what reason?
I would keep news just because, like, it is. We need, like, especially like in the latest stretch of play, it's painfully obvious that we really lack forwards that can also backcheck, and we're really extremely missing Nugent Hopkins. So on that sense, like I would say keep Nuge and Eberle is expendable. Again, like the issue is like will we get the quality liners to replace him? And I think we can, primarily because Yak and Connor have displayed some kind of chemistry. So at the very least, we can make a temporary replacement until we can get something more solidified. If Yakupov turns into an issue.
I was gonna say, speaking of Yakupov, James, I'm gonna go to you first because Arun and I know how we feel about Yakupov. I think you've been a little bit mixed in the last few weeks. Whether you can argue he's had a fair shake or not is debatable, but do you see his time coming to an end with the Oilers? I mean, he's playing fourth liner right now. He hasn't been back with McDavid yet since Eberle's been so good. You know.
Yeah, I want him to succeed. I do.
Mm-hmm.
We had a big thread in the Oilers subreddit about a week ago asking about what I think or what we think is going to happen with Yakupov, and I wouldn't call him a bust yet, but
No.
he's trending that way. I think that's pretty undeniable. Like he hasn't been given the prime minutes. He hasn't been given the power play time.
Honestly, the key thing that he's missing isn't either of those things. It's just a competent center. Every time he's paired with a center that has offensive ability, he does well.
But should he be a black hole?
Well, and that's kind of the issue. You can't just gift him minutes.
Yeah, like he has to be able to do something on his own too. You can't say, like, okay, we're gonna pair him with McDavid. Like he needs McDavid as a crutch. Like, no.
Well, mind you, last season his crutch was Derek Roy.
Yeah, but I mean, like you can say he's a complimentary player.
Literally any center with some kind of offensive ability and is not named Letestu is effective for it.
Yeah, I don't know, man. I don't think that he's shown enough. That's just what I think. I don't know. That's just my opinion. I don't think that he'll be with the team long term. Put it that way.
Also,
that I would agree with.
No one's kind of noticed something that I'm gonna have to murder you guys for.
What's
the
that?
title of the Skype call.
Yeah.
Yes, the
Thanks for
title
that.
of the Skype call is a dedication to Adam's small penis. We're technically taking donations for the trust fund, so he can get the proper Swedish penis enhancing tools.
Yeah, we should probably change that. Next up.
I want to go into pro sports, and then you guys are gonna fuck me with that.
Let's just gloss over that, all right?
Dickholes.
So, Broissoit has been called up, all right? Broissoit has been called up from Bakersfield. Nilsson's been sent down. What do you guys make of it? Permanent thing, temporary, what's up? What do you guys think?
First off, it makes more sense that it's temporary. Give Broissoit the time in the NHL. Give him the, show him that, we give credit for the fact that he's played very, very well for the last couple of years. Give him a chance to get used to NHL shooters. And when we go, you keep him here for the homestand. He's been in Edmonton before. He has family and friends here. He has people he knows. He's comfortable here. And then as soon as we go on the road trip in California, which is the next road trip we're on, they send him back to Bakersfield, which is he doesn't have to travel that far. He gets to travel in comfort style, and that's the end of it. And the benefit for Nilsson is then he gets AHL starts. He can get back in his groove, and he can be a competent backup again, which I believe Not Swing Padawan said that he did play very well in his game on Friday and did win with the Condors. So that's a good sign there. Arun?
My opinion of that situation is it's a little obvious, so to speak. It's that they can send him down to the minors, and as McClellan put, Anders needs a little work in, and he's not going to get it at the NHL level just because he's not playing well and we're trying to win. If we were aiming to tank, we would play him, but the last time we played him, we got demolished 8-1.
Well, I mean,
And that's the issue.
Talbot didn't play superb in that game either, but Nilsson certainly didn't help
no.
stopping 7 of the first 10 shots.
Yeah.
So
700 save percentage. That's gonna get you places.
I'll take a 70. I'll take 70% of a final.
KHL.
But, well, that's the other side of it. Is do you think there's obviously these are unfounded rumors, but there was a situation earlier in I think it was January, December, where Nilsson was frustrated in practice, broke his stick, and left the ice, didn't come back. He is obviously a competitive guy. He beat out Scrivens for the job as backup, and ended up beating up Talbot for a couple months as a starter. Do you think that Nilsson will be back next year in a backup role? Like, he will accept the fact that he'll be a backup,
Yes.
or do you think he'll bolt?
Yes. Yes.
Yeah?
Yes.
To which one?
You know why I would constantly saying yes? The fact that he took being sent down to the minors after being partway through the season, the starter, and not immediately bolting to the KHL, that just screams to me that he's understanding that there's certain things that he needs to work on, and he's accepting it. Like I like the way that Professor Scribbles is putting it. Like, it's an opportunity for Nilsson to get his legs under him in Bakersfield and come up to to challenge Kambot again. Like, he understands the fact that right now he's not playing well, and he needs this. So almost in a sense, he's matured. And because of that, I don't see him bolting to the KHL.
Even with a longer contract, guaranteed starter, more money possibly in KHL.
Well,
why
did he leave the KHL to begin with? If you think about it,
that's the thing with the KHL is that if players start there and come here, there's an often draw to go back because they've made more money, they've had guaranteed positions, and that's the big thing. I guess the issue with the Rubel right now is that they're not necessarily going to get paid, but he played for a squad that had money, and they'd offer him back. So that's the thing, is that's where it plays into me. I don't think he will go either, though, to be honest. And with that, James, if you want to chime in.
Yeah, I will say just a single yes, as opposed to the 10 that Arun said.
Yes.
I think he took it in stride pretty well. I think that he recognizes that he has things to work on. He's going to get more minutes, more game time in the AHL than he was currently getting with the NHL. Talbot, clearly the starter now with the Oilers. So, I mean, he wants the time. He wants the opportunity to work himself back into good form. So he took it well. I don't think that he'll take it as well if the same thing happens next year, though.
Now,
yeah. One thing's for sure, he took it well. He took it better than Scrivens did.
This is true. You can't blame. I mean, you can't blame Scrivens. Actually, it wasn't.
I mean, you can blame Scrivens. He got outperformed by Nilsson.
Not by much. They were both fantastic in the preseason, if I remember correctly.
But Nilsson was better.
Nilsson was.
You would agree
by a marginal amount. Yes.
I would say more than a marginal amount.
No, it was a marginal amount. Like Scrivens, Scrivens was amazing, and Nilsson was perfect.
Nilsson was
literally
better than Cam Talbot.
Nilsson was literally
there's
perfect.
No way they're not.
Well, they're both better. Talbot. They both had better camp than Talbot did.
Yeah, but there's no way they're not citing Talbot down.
No, that's the point. Is that it was one of the two.
They're sent.
And we were initially, we were both shocked because Nilsson could have gone through waivers and they sent Scrivens down anyway. I think my reaction initially was, okay, well, that doesn't make sense, but we saw what happened. Now, my question with Nilsson to you guys, and we'll start with James on this one too, going back to you, is do you think Nilsson, do you give Nilsson the rest of the year to prove that he should be backup? Or did he do enough early in the year that he can battle out with Broissoit at the start of the season? And with that said, if Broissoit beats him, do you give Broissoit the backup job next year, or do you send Broissoit to the AHL for more seasoning?
I think you can give Broissoit another year in the AHL, probably like one more year before he starts to get impatient himself. For the rest of this season, I think that Nilsson, he won't be there very long, I don't think Broissoit will be with the Oilers for very long. I anticipate him coming back up. I don't really know what's going to happen, but for next season, if Broissoit beats Nilsson out, I don't think he would report to the AHL.
Arun?
One thing's for sure, if Nilsson gets sent to the AHL, like if he returns with the club and gets sent to the AHL for sure, I don't think he's going to stay with the club. He's probably going to do the Yakima move and just leave.
Yeah.
And then the other issue, like what I see ending up happening is that we're probably going to get some kind of injury partway through next season. And then when that happens, like LB will get an opportunity to step in. And if you can take advantage of that opportunity, then you're fantastic. He'll do well. But and then he'll stay with the club permanently. That's the way I see it.
Now, the other side of this for me is, what about Mr. Lorcainen there? He's not doing too bad.
E2?
E2.
No, he's
R2E2. He's not doing too bad in the NHL. He's not doing
E2,
great.
D2.
R2E2 is how I call him.
E2D2. E2 Lorcainen.
R2E2. It's the same thing.
No, it's not.
Yes. I've heard both.
Anyway,
I'm not going to argue with it about nicknames because you're a child.
G-Sart says nice Skype group name.
Yeah, they're a bunch of cunts. So yeah,
we fixed it.
I love these guys like my brothers apparently, and that's how they repay me. I host the stream and make sure that everything's okay, but I get butt fucked by it anyway. So, what was the question? Lorcainen. With Lorcainen, I mean, then you have the situation where you're kind of stacking goalies on top of them. And do you maybe give him split duty next year with Broissoit, or do you let Broissoit take over and then let Lorcainen take over if Nilsson fails to report and Broissoit ends a backup or something happens?
I think...
Can I go on this one? No. You start.
You want me to start?
Yeah.
I think in a perfect world, Oilers management will want to get rid of Nilsson for next year and have Broissoit be the backup, Lorcainen be the starter for the AHL, and then have someone as the backup for the Condors. I don't know who, but who is down after that?
We have Svedberg in the KHL. No, he's playing in the OHL, I think. Something like that. He's playing CHL somewhere. We drafted him this year. He's not doing great. We also have a guy,
Zachary
Nagelvort. Thank you. Playing from Michigan, I think, and he's having not a great.
Yeah.
He's not doing very good either.
No, he's not doing very well.
No.
But that's I think that's what Oilers management would like to see. I mean, Broissoit is what, 24, 23?
He's 23, I think.
Yeah,
he might have turned 24.
He can make the jump as a backup next year, I think, ideally. And then Nilsson would just be gone. Lorcainen be the AHL starter. Talbot the starter. Go from there.
Now, does Broissoit not have enough experience to be considered for backup?
Yeah, at some point, I think you just have to make the jump. I mean, he's had this year and last year to get a good number of starts in at the AHL level. Start working him in over the tail end of this year, and I think that ideally he would be the backup coming out of training camp in September.
Fun fact: Broissoit is 3 days younger than me, so he's 22.
How does that make you feel?
I mean, how old are you?
The first time I went through that sort of existential crisis was when Sidney Crosby broke into the league.
For me, I think it was Nuge. Just because I'm like, he's the same age and he looks much younger than me and he's already playing. And then it was Yakupov and then McDavid. And I'm like, shit. Shit.
Yeah, Sidney Crosby breaking into the league was a real punch to my ego.
Yeah. Oh no, I'm not going to make the NHL. I'm so bad.
I'm not going to make the NHL, guys. 2016, this is my draft year.
That's it.
It's going to happen
All
this
begins
year.
now.
Free agency. You'd go in as a UFA now. How does that make you feel?
Woo! Free agent, hired gun.
Oh boy. Okay, Rune, what about you, Lorcainen situation?
Basically what James said. From the looks of it, based upon how management is trending in their decisions, they will definitely cut out E2. No, keep E2 for the AHL and cut out Nilsson from the equation.
Do you trade Nilsson to the deadline even? Do you dare to do so?
No.
I don't think he has any value, to be honest. So
yeah, it's too risky for too low.
I see it either like they'll try, but I don't think they'll be successful.
Now moving on from the attendees, because I think we talked about that for like a solid 10 minutes. What's next on the list there?
Well, next on the list there we have Draisaitl being very quiet lately.
All right, paging Dr. Drai.
Uh,
So, what do you make of it, Arun?
The fact that Dr. Drai has disappeared, and his assistant Nurse Hall has apparently also disappeared. I don't know what the fuck. Like, honestly, I think it's just that other teams have discovered like the book, so to speak, on these two, and is just be on top of them and leave Purcell open. That's like how they're doing it now. They just immediately, as soon as Dry has the puck, there's like 3 people on him and 2 people on Hall, and Purcell's like, "Hey, how are you guys doing? I'm open over here."
Oh yeah,
But
there's
I
the
can't
empty net.
score.
Oh, whoops. There's the puck at the corner again.
There's one thing that you can reliably have at every point in your life. It's that you will always know that Purcell's really good at missing the net.
If you have to make a bet on it, you know you're gonna win. All
The
right.
only one that's a more sure bet is Greiba hitting the net.
I'd say Yakupov missing the net. Kid's got
No,
a cannon,
yeah.
but he can't hit the net for shit.
Can't hit the net for shit. Yeah, that's true.
All right.
I
He
think
doesn't have that fast of a cannon either.
He is slap
I
shot's
think
pretty good.
that the whole thing was kind of inevitable. I mean, they had like almost a 25 game run there
Mhm.
Yeah.
where they were unstoppable and obviously super unsustainable. And I think that this total cliff that they've dropped off is also unsustainable. It's just a blip on the radar, hopefully. So I think that they'll probably ramp it up.
Can
of
you
course.
do me a favor, and can you find their PDO for me, please? Individually.
Well, over the past few games, it's been absolute shit, but I will find it.
Yeah,
Hall, and unfortunately, this stupid thing is down still, so I don't know what's going on.
This
Okay, so you do that, and then we'll jump
so-
to the next topic there.
Yeah,
Any-
yeah.
Well, I was gonna say, for me, I think, like you said, James, it's more of a hills and valleys kind of thing, right? They hit the peak and now they're in the valley, and they're gonna go back up
Yeah.
to a more stable conclusion. But for me, this harks back to the whole Eberle and Nuge thing, and I hate to go back to it, but our third center is Letestu.
Yeah.
Our fourth, like, Lander's not even fucking existing anymore. He's just dead. Like, he's just gone. So we have Hendricks playing center.
Oh,
Hey, that's a nice segue.
it's the first
a nice
season for
segue.
Hall since his rookie season where his PDO is below 100.
Yeah, so he's going to regress back to the norm. Almost
Yeah.
guaranteed. So that
I mean,
Regress
also, I'll
or
check Draisaitl as well.
Ingress.
regress back to the norm just means that they're going to go back to normal. It's not necessarily, like, people use, there's regression.
There's currently an argument going on in chat between myself, G-Sards, and Professor Scribbles, and you guys are wrong. That's what I will say for now. And continue, guys.
So 99.9 PDO for Draisaitl.
Wow, that's pretty much,
So
that's not going to change
yeah.
a whole lot.
No. it's not.
So the thing about regression and statistics is that regression and statistics means regress back to the norm, or if you're saying regressing back to the norm, regression in general just means, yeah. Anyway,
Yes. Statistics.
it speaks back to Hall to Nuge for me because I mean, if you have McDavid carrying the center position for the team as 2C, and Draisaitl is not playing very well, and then you have Letestu as your 3, well, that's not really great. And you can always move somebody to the wing.
Yeah, and Hendricks isn't even a centerman, from my understanding.
He's a right winger. I'm pretty there's one of the wings, right or left wing. He's a winger playing centerman. Lander's gotten so bad that he's now sitting in the press box with Ferentz. Like,
Man, that sucks.
when you're so bad that a winger takes your position as the fourth line center, you need to get your shit together.
Yeah.
Yep. It was a long time coming. Management gave him a lot of opportunities to try to get his shit together. Nothing worked. I mean, at this point, like, even though people are saying like, "Oh, the PK is missing him," no, it's really not. Like, the only PK goals that have been like scored against us was in that Islander game where like everyone was shit.
So are we segueing into Lander now, or what?
Yeah, I guess we can segue into Lander.
Yeah.
Yeah, sure.
He hasn't played since the All-Star game, so I mean, Arun, you figure he's gone. I think he's got another year on his contract, though.
I figure he'll be back when the next next injury happens because someone else posted on the subreddit saying like, "Hey, how would the lines look like when Nuge is back?"
Oh, they jinxed it.
They jinxed it again. Don't post about it.
Yeah, at this point, he's like an injured fella, and I never really thought about that. But, God, Nuge goes down, and rather than insert him, we put Hendricks at center.
Yep.
Man.
Yeah, that's gotta hurt.
That's embarrassing.
It's gotta hurt your ego.
Your best team, or your best friend on the team is now Ferentz, who has played 6 games this season.
And will not play again.
No, I don't think he'll play in the NHL.
Will either collect his paycheck and just sit on the bench next season, or
I can see him. Yeah, I can see him retiring after the end of the season.
He has too much money on the
Got,
table. Like $2.2 million on the table.
Yeah.
Okay.
I don't think he'll retire. He could get bought out, but I don't know.
He'll get bought out. It's guaranteed because we don't have to buy out Nikitin. You might as well just buy out Ferentz.
Right.
But what do you do with Lander? The hell do you do with Lander at this point? Do you do nothing with him?
Yeah, honestly, I think you do nothing. You carry on as normal, go through the training camp. If he makes a team, cool. If he doesn't, you send him to Bakersfield. If he gets claimed, so be it, and that's it.
Do you trade him so at least to get something out of it? Like, even if it's like a 6th round pick?
No, you get nothing for him.
I don't think you get anything for Lander.
Yeah, you have to throw him in as a negative in a trade.
The only team that I think will give us something is Toronto, but they're not willing to give up draft picks.
I think Detroit would maybe give us something purely because that he's been with Nelson. And that'd be like a big...
But they're not looking for...
And that's the thing, that's not even like... They don't need anybody. It'd be like, Detroit, here, have this player because he played well with your coach at some point. Doesn't really do anything.
I mean, we always try and think up elaborate scenarios and possibilities for where players are going now and in the future, and I think sometimes the simplest path is accurate. I truly think that if he doesn't make the team, they'll just bury him. Injury call-up for next season. If he gets claimed on the waiver wire, then he gets claimed, and you just close the chapter on him, and that's it.
I think if Lander comes into the camp and doesn't play well enough, gets cut, he goes to the SEL.
I could see that too. I mean, mutual termination of the contract. They probably don't really want him hanging around for another year doing what he's done this year.
And if he won't want to be here, he'd rather be playing in a professional league. So, I mean, the AHL is professional, but you know what I mean.
Yeah, no, you don't want to be... Yeah.
Yeah, all right. So, next topic?
Yes.
We can go on to Schultz trades.
Schultz trade,
and trades in general.
All right. Yeah. So who wants to start that one?
Arun does.
Oh, boy. Yay! So Schultz trade, honestly, I don't know if it's going to happen. Like, it sort of needs to happen because I don't imagine Schultz being back with the team starting next season. Especially, like, I think the reason that he's getting the minutes he is right now is just because there's injuries. And also because the rest of the defense also sucks, like, big time. Outside of maybe Sekera and Fane. So the big problem then is that I don't think there's any takers for Schultz. That's basically it.
Do you think that they were showcasing him, though, last week for a trade? I mean...
Everyone keeps saying that, but I don't believe it.
No.
Because he's always been playing like that many minutes.
Yeah, okay. I mean, Arun's not wrong. The
even when he was playing worse than he is right now.
If the preface is there, then like if they've already established a norm for him, so he's playing 17, 18, 19, 20 minutes a game, up in the 18 to 20 minutes, then it's not going to seem like people are going to complain about how many minutes he's getting, but he's been playing that many minutes for the entire season. So it's not really that unusual. So it doesn't make sense that all of a sudden
he's playing less minutes now than he was.
Yeah. So it doesn't make sense that he's showcasing him if he's playing a little less than he was before or the same amount. That's just him playing, and he's been absolute shit, which is why people think that they're showcasing him. Now, the thing about Schultz is that, Arun, when you say there's been no interest, last week there was reported interest. And that's why they were saying he could be dealt. He was scratched because he could be dealt. Because they didn't release who from, but they said there was interest. So it's possible that Schultz might get dealt to the deadline.
I thought it was just because he was absolute shit in the previous game.
Wasn't
I thought it was
there-
because of a scratch from the Islanders game.
Wasn't there a game where they released a media list and the list of scouts was like
That was I want to say
the
versus
Montreal
Columbus.
game, I think.
That was versus
Was it
Columbus.
Columbus?
I think.
Okay. I thought it
Um,
was Montreal.
but it might have been
Oh, it's
Montreal, and in which case Montreal is another option because Belchevin is looking to
Yeah,
fucking sell
Richard-
everybody.
G-Starts is saying, I don't think there was any interest. Rashog denied it.
Wasn't there
I think
released
it's
tweets saying that like he was scratched with possible trade interest?
From a freaking nobody.
Who was it?
Do you know who that guy was?
Didn't hear.
Wasn't
half
it
of
the
that.
It was
French guy?
basically a nobody. Like, he
It
was
was-
like one of a... Yeah, it was one of the French-Canadian guys who are, like, consistently wrong.
No, but I mean,
that guy is like the French Bob McKenzie.
yeah,
man.
the Canadian fans
he?
said
No
he's
way.
fairly reliable. Yeah, like he's
I
known.
I
so
trust that guy.
I mean, I'd say there was interest, but whether or not it's still there after the way he's played is debatable.
Yeah, it's like I don't think there should be interest, but whether or not there is, I mean, I don't know.
Then again, so like again with like we said with
Oh,
Lander,
is my audio shit?
it's cutting in and out a
Is,
little bit. You're fine. Don't worry
okay,
about it.
okay, sorry.
The more we bring attention to it, the more it becomes an issue. So just don't say anything. It's like the injuries. So much in the same way with the Lander situation, the hell do you do with Schultz? Because we're not qualifying him $4 million a year, and no one else is
No.
going to qualify him at $4 million a year. So do you trade him as a someone might pick him up as an offensive third pairing seventh defenseman for a playoff run.
Yeah, that's pretty much it at this point. You know, we might be able to get like a 7th round pick in the 2018 draft for him.
I think we'll get more than that, just simply because he can skate.
Yeah, it's possible, but I wouldn't give up any more than that. I mean, he's consistently lauded as an offensive defenseman, and the production isn't there. So
No, it's not. That's ultimately Schultz's big problem. If Schultz like played the defensive style that he did and put up a lot of points, we would be able to go like, okay, we'll allow it because you're actually like contributing to offense.
It'd be Mike Green.
It'd be Mike Green, yeah.
if he was a poor man's Mike Green or Erik Karlsson, cool.
No, Erik Karlsson can play defense. That's not
Erik Karlsson is the best defenseman in the NHL right now
I know.
by
he
a wide
is.
mile.
Yes,
but
that
yes,
is actually true.
But yeah, I know what you mean. So I don't know if you can really say, because you certainly can't qualify. I guess, do you take him to arbitration if possible? Like, I can't remember the exact rules as far as that goes. But would you take him to arbitration even, or would you? It's not even worth it. Like, what would you do?
Nothing. You again. I
No.
think the simplest path is the right one. You know, just
Trade him.
end it or trade him if you can. But if you can't do that, then just let him walk. And
Can you release an RFA?
You can. I think he can. You can. You
you can sign.
You can
with someone
refuse to
else,
sign him.
and
I think it
just let
becomes a
him-
UFA. I want to say. Someone should fact check me on that one. But I think if
Isn't
you
he a
were,
UFA anyway? Because when he signed with Edson, he was a UFA.
no, he'll be an RFA next year. I double checked that beforehand. He has. I think he has one more year of free agency. Of RFA before he's a UFA. But I don't know, like, because the other side of this is we're certainly not qualifying with $4 million, but we don't really have a great replacement next season. I mean, who else? Like, we have Clendenning, but he's been not great. He has a very small sample size, but he hasn't been very good. He doesn't have a proven track record either.
Yeah, you gotta hope that Nurse is an NHL defenseman for next year.
If we start next season with Clendenning in our lineup, I don't think we're going to be good next season.
I mean,
That's
we're probably
basically
not
what
going to
I'm
be good
saying.
next season unless you pick up a defenseman anyway.
Yeah. No,
But-
even then, like, Clendenning is absolute horseshit. And I've been following him since before he was with the Oilers.
The other issue for me is if you run into is that you end up with having to put Reinhardt or Nurse in the lineup regardless of whether or not you pick somebody up. And I think Nurse is better, but then it runs into the issue of, okay, we picked up Reinhardt for all these picks. He was supposed to be an NHL-ready prospect this season, according to Chia, and now he's sitting in the AHL. So, do you classify that trade for Reinhardt as a bad one, or do you classify it as maybe still a working project that we have to maintain and he might be a third pairing? Because Brandon Davidson was a 6th-round pick and he's looking damn good right now.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I think we've talked about the Reinhart trade quite a bit in the past, and I think we all
don't need to
agreed
talk about it anymore.
that it was an overpayment. Like, even
Sure.
the day that it was made, we were like, no.
But
That's good.
I mean, I can understand having to pay for a prospect, but at this point, is he still considered even a prospect that could play one or two, like first or second pairing?
You know what? Second pairing would be his ceiling, I think. But at this point, I think he's trending more towards like a Greiba sort of player,
Fair
which
enough.
is really disheartening.
Yeah, unfortunately. Arun? Okay, then we lost Arun.
Rip.
Again. Oh, his mouth
Right.
moved a little bit. Oh, we were supposed to use the picture of Nolan as the friggin' intro picture today, and I forgot to.
Crap.
I'll have to use that next time.
Yeah.
It's a pretty good picture. Yeah, Nolan knows what I'm talking about. It's a good picture. Next topic, because I think we won't talk about Reinhardt anymore. We just slathered
It's a
on.
depressing topic.
Oh, God, just kill me.
Yakupov being a bust.
We already
talked
kind of
about it.
discussed it. I'd say quick answer no, long answer certainly trending towards it, as you said earlier. Could become one. He's proven he can succeed with a centerman, but he's not going to get gifted minutes, so he needs to show something here soon.
Yeah. Okay. What do we got here? 15 minutes left. Okay.
I just want to address one quick thing. Is my audio choppy really quickly?
It's working.
Okay, good. First and foremost, I really don't want Clendenning on this team. I cannot emphasize that enough. Clendenning is absolute horseshit. Everyone is frustrated with Schultz, I understand, but you don't understand. Clendenning is much worse than Schultz.
Okay.
Okay. Thank you for that input.
I don't understand people support it.
Just jump back 5 minutes.
Thank you. Arun.
Thanks, Arun.
I'm referencing Professor Scribbles in chat.
Okay.
Okay.
He's talking about how Clendenning won't kill our D, and I'm saying he will kill our D worse than Schultz.
Yeah.
Anyway, continuing on.
He was a waiver pickup. I don't think he was supposed to be
That's
anything
the
more
thing
than...
is he wasn't supposed
Yeah,
to
no.
play 20 minutes.
But our fans
Schultz,
are making him
but-
more than a waiver pick.
Right.
That's the-
Right. Okay. What about the issue of tank battles going on around the NHL? What do you guys think of that?
So,
Montreal, I don't know if it's winning it right now.
well, who is tanking per se right now, other than the Leafs, who will be the deadline actually tanking? Who is really tanking? Because to me, it's Montreal. Montreal's core has been disguised for a couple of years now by Price's incredible play. Columbus got devastated by injuries and don't really have a great core either. So to me, those are the two worst teams in the NHL: is the Leafs and the Jackets, and the Habs are just bad. So their free fall just has to do with the fact that their core is okay, and then outside of that, it's like the Oilers where they have like 4 or 5 good players, and the rest of them is absolute shit and they can't do anything, and they have a very good goaltender to mask all of their issues. Because you look at their stats this year, their advanced stats, it's not looking good. Like, and the Wild are also in a free fall. I don't think it's tanking. I think the Leafs are going to tank, but they're also fully rebuilding. And their plan from last year was burn everything, start again. So that kind of makes sense. For Columbus, again, they've been shit. They need another pick, which I don't know why people are not harping on them for being so shit for so long. But that's off.
Because that means the playoffs one.
That's off.
That's
Yeah,
basically
1 year. That's off topic. So
Same with Carolina.
even
Continue on.
even fucking Carolina. Anyway, I don't want to get into that because I'll rant, and I don't want to rant today. But for me, it's not tanking. It's a few shit teams and then some more shit teams that happen to be competing with one team burning everything to the ground.
Yeah, there's only one clear-cut team for me that's like aiming to tank, but at the same time, they're an extremely tough team to play against. Their only problem is their player quality is shit. But the way that they play is just phenomenal. Like any other coach, they would be
Dad clock.
like setting up a new record for the worst record in the NHL.
That lineup that they iced against the Oilers, oh my god.
Arguably one of the worst NHL teams
And
the
they
last decade.
somehow were in that game and dominating us for the first 2 periods.
First period and a half, like the last second half. Basically, Talbot won us the game in the first half, and then the Leafs kind of just fell off, as they was expected. I mean, yeah, that was a terrible lineup, but
Yeah, I think the Leafs are really the only team that is obviously
tanking.
aiming for the toilet. You know, teams like Edmonton, Winnipeg, Vancouver, Columbus. I don't think that they're outright tanking. They just aren't good teams.
Yeah. Winnipeg is kind of that weird one because people were expecting to be better, but that Central Division is a bitch.
Yeah.
And I think they're still pushing for a wild card. They're not doing very well, but they're pushing for one.
They're like 8 points out right now.
Are they really?
Yeah.
Oh,
What about the Canucks? Do you think they're going to be huge sellers and just basically dump everything in during the trade deadline?
Well,
or what are your thoughts?
They're on a playoff spot right now, aren't they?
No. They're
really out.
They're like 6 points out.
There's a single Canadian team that's in the playoffs.
Well, who is currently in the playoffs for the Pacific? LA sent all of California.
There's no Canadian team on.
I'm looking up standings.
Yeah, no Canadian teams in the playoffs. Vancouver, Calgary, Winnipeg, Edmonton. That's the basement.
Vancouver's only 1 point out. I don't know what you guys are talking about.
Yeah.
Oh, that's games played. Yeah, they're 5 points. They're 5 points out.
Yeah, 5 points.
Yeah, they're a hefty amount out, and check their record. It's pretty much 500.
I don't know what they're going to do, to be honest with you. You can't get rid of the Sedins because you just can't. And you don't want to instill a losing culture with the young guys like Horvat. I don't know. I could see them get rid of Burrows.
Yeah, they'll probably trade a couple players, but I don't see them blowing everything up.
Cammy for sure.
Yeah, I don't think that they're just going to burn the earth.
That's
I don't think.
the other side of it too is that they have the Sedins for maybe 4 more years. And you start burning stuff down, you don't necessarily give them a chance to win the cup or make the playoffs again even. Now, the funny thing is, you look at the Canucks, you subtract, even the Wild, you subtract all those extra fun little points they have from the Bettman point. The Vancouver Canucks subtract 12 points off 56. They're at 44 points. They're the worst team in the Pacific. I think they might actually be you can't just subtract all of them off, but they have 12 extra points. So you take away half of those, and they're tied with us.
Take away 6, yeah.
They're tied with us. So that's just the Canucks are not a good team, but they're not bad enough to be bad, really bad. If you know what I mean.
They're not bad enough to be us.
We've also had a lot more injury issues, but that's an aside.
Right.
I don't know. I don't see them as much as and it's again with the Wild. I'm pretty sure that's the next topic, so just jump into that. Mike Yeo was fired. Mike Yeo? I don't know how to pronounce his name.
Yeah,
so
yeah.
With that, you can't even call that tanking either. Although you can call it a skeptical choice to fire the coach. But they've gone into a free fall pretty much every year at some point with him at the helm. So at some point you have to look, okay, well maybe something's wrong with the management. Now, leading into this, I think we lost Arun again. So James, do you think that might have been the issue in Pittsburgh too? And what do you think the issue might be in Minnesota? Is it the players or the coach?
Well, eventually you have to start looking at the players. I mean, yeah, Minnesota, they go through these free falls every single year, it seems. But, players like Mikko Koivu, Ryan Suter gets unbelievable amounts of power play time. He doesn't do very much with it. It might just be the coach too. I don't know, because Pittsburgh has done a pretty remarkable turnaround. But I think that they're banking on a lot of players to be what they aren't anymore. Like Ryan Suter, like Zach Parise to a lesser extent, but Thomas Vanek.
Yeah.
Like Mikko Koivu. Those. Yeah.
The amazing thing about the Wild too is Dubnik's actually been playing well.
That's been sort of very similar to the Oilers story, hasn't it?
Yeah.
Where there were seasons where Dubnik would play very well,
and the Oilers would
but
no.
The Oilers still lose the game.
Yeah.
To me, with coaching, I think it's kind of two things, right? You can look at it where the coach is the issue, or the coach is the solution. We look at Kruger. After Kruger was fired, Eakins started off god awful, and everyone,
continued to be god-awful.
but everyone blamed the players. The players are the issue. We got a new coach. It's not the coach. It's not the coach. And then we get to year 2, and we're like, what the fuck is he doing? Why the fuck is he so bad? Get rid of the coach. It's the coach. And they turn it around, kind of under Nelson. And then you look at the Leafs, Randy Carlyle. You know, their lineup wasn't good either, but Babcock's done a pretty good job of making them not suck as bad as they possibly could this year. And then you go look at the Penguins, and Johnson was fired, and this team's turned around and decided that they want to play hockey again. So sometimes, you know, I don't know, like, could you actively say it's one or the other, or maybe is it both, or is it?
It changes. Like, each situation is totally unique. You know, you can't put a blanket statement one way or the other either way. I think with it's funny because earlier this season I remember listening to a Tim and Sid broadcast, and they were like, "We're seeing the decline of Sidney Crosby. This is the end." And
oh man, now he's like what?
He's like a point a game now.
5th in NHL scoring, I think, something like that.
Yeah, no big deal. So yeah,
Crosby doing Crosby.
Idiots. Those guys are so dumb.
I don't understand. Like, just I don't understand how people thought he was done. Where it was like, I know I had to ask questions early in the season. Now I blame that on having to host the podcast at one point about asking whether or not Kane was the best player. I think you could arguably say Kane might have been the best player in the world for 2 months, but even when Crosby was playing bad, he was still playing okay, and then he turned it up to back to Crosby levels, and you kind of realize how much better he is than everybody else.
Yep.
Yeah.
Ovi's been good. Ovi's been great. Yager's been good again, which is ridiculous, but Crosby is just phenomenal. And if you think about that, we could have that on our team for the next 10 years, 20 years.
20 years, ideally. 15.
Yeah. Probably
50
15.
years.
Hopefully.
50 years.
50.
Okay,
I'm gonna be optimistic here.
one topic left.
Yep.
One topic left.
Winnipeg outdoor game versus Edmonton. That seems sort of where it's going to be going.
Mm-hmm.
So are you guys looking forward to that? What are your thoughts?
I don't really give a shit.
I kind of like it. I mean, it's the outdoor games got kind of corny with the stadium series and everything, but it is kind of nice when your team gets the chance. Then again, we're not the Blackhawks, so we don't get it 4 times a year. But I kind of
the rivalry with every single team.
The Panthers and the Blackhawks on NBC Wednesday rivalry night hockey. I don't know. Anyway, I think I keep remembering the old heritage game of the Canadians with Jose Theodore with the little toque on his helmet, and you know, it was kind of fun to watch. And I think for that tradition to be back in the WHA days, it's a good opportunity. I don't know. I'm not going to watch it because I'm not going to pay for a flight out there and pay for a ticket. I know, James, you said, so obviously you're going to share a different opinion about this, but I think I might watch it. I don't know if I'll buy the jersey unless it's really, really nice, and I don't know if I'll absolutely have to watch that one game, but I'll probably tune in if I can. It's a good opportunity. It's kind of a cool idea to showcase both teams.
Yeah, I'm on the other side of the fence there for sure. I'm looking forward to it. I went to Winnipeg's new field there, Investors Field, for the Blue Bombers. I went to the Banjo Bowl in September, and it's a great stadium, much nicer than Commonwealth. So I would love to see a game there. If tickets don't cost me a kidney, I will probably actually go.
I'm thinking it will probably cost a kidney and a half.
Yeah, it might.
I've got 2 kidneys, Arun.
you do need at least one functioning, though, not half of it.
Half.
It's the issue for me in Winnipeg is that you're gonna have to buy them instantaneously because they're gonna go fast.
I do like one point that Professor Scribbles is bringing up. It's that if it were against Calgary, we might care more. But it's like we're against a team that we just don't play frequently at all, and is in a totally different division.
I like the Winnipeg Jets rivalry. That takes me back to like the 80s.
Okay.
I'm not that old. I don't remember those days.
I wasn't even alive for most of that, but if you look back in the the history between the Oilers and the Jets back in the 80s. They had some pretty good clashes, so I think there's some history there.
It's kind of nice for me and everything because the Jets are like a distant third or fourth team for me, and they're kind of fun to watch. So it's nice in the fact that you get to see two teams play that you like, but I don't know if there's any vested interest other than like if it was the Flames, maybe even if the Abs for me, I like the Abs, so but not really.
Okay, so I have a question here from G-Sarts, considering that I don't think there's much more to talk about in this topic.
We're pretty much wrapping up. Yep.
Yeah, let's wrap it up after this question.
A question, and I have one more quick thing to talk about. Would you guys wait to trade Eberle till we know what draft pick is?
Yeah.
Like top 3 a replacement for Eberle? Or does the pick not matter because we should draft Churchian regardless?
For me, it was, like I said earlier in the podcast, for me it's you wait until before the draft pick to see if the final the final rankings, 2 to see what the kind of pickup you're going to get. So I think you prod Eberle around at the deadline and see what kind of offers are at the deadline. Don't do anything until the trade deadline. See what's at the trade deadline, where your pick is, what you know you can pick with it, and then if you're outside of the top 5, maybe pick Chichrun or a couple other defensemen I'm trying to think of. Otherwise, then you browse around and maybe trade the pick rather than
Okay, yeah. So I'm just gonna add one. Quick
I think
thing
James is gonna input on that.
Do you want to answer that too?
No. Adam answered it.
It's pretty complete. We talked about it before. That's why I'm moving on.
All right.
So one last thing, because we have about like 5 more minutes, I guess. There is a key issue that we're sort of missing out on, and I think in the last 10 games, our Corsi has been around 40%. It's actually really, really bad. I mean, outside of the game, even in the Toronto games, even the games we're winning, our Corsi's bad. What do you think, like, the bigger problem is? Is it that we don't have nasty guys in the top, in our lineup? Is it because we're missing Clefbaum? Is it because we're missing Nuge? Is our forwards not back checking enough? What's going on?
It's a bunch of different things. Like Nuge is a big part of that's a big part of it, but players like Cassian are rough and his Corsi is atrocious, so I don't think that being rough and tumble necessarily brings the river in your direction. It's a bunch of different things. Players like Korpikoski, Letestu, they're just bad Corsi players to begin with.
Okay.
And I think that they're being asked to play above their skill sets.
So Korpikoski needs to die in a fire, because holy fucking shit, his Corsi brings down literally everybody else in the team. I think he's the 4th worst Corsi in the league. Like, he is god fucking awful possession.
Yeah.
Do you know who has one of the most positive Corsi on the team?
I think he's an Lander.
Yakupov.
Yeah. Well,
it's absolutely hilarious.
That's also because he shoots every time he's on the ice. Like, and he doesn't take defensive zone draws. Now, for me, it's just like what James said. You can throw hits, but you're not necessarily gonna have good Corsi. I think we see that with Korpikoski. We see that with even Pakarinen, is they throw hits, but they don't necessarily have the best Corsi. And a lot of times that's because they're spending time in their own zone and taking a lot of defensive zone draws. But Korpikoski had a fucking 0 Corsi their day. 0% Corsi.
0. He
didn't get a single shot on goal, blocked, missed, or on goal the entire night.
Wow.
Him and Hendricks. And the only reason Hendricks did is because Hendricks was fucking playing with Korpikoski. 0. How do you go an entire game with getting like that? I've never seen that happen. I'm fucking done with Korpikoski. Done with him. He scored the 1 hat trick, and everybody's like, "Oh, well, he's good." No, he scored 1 hat trick. He scored how many points all year? And he's a piece of shit at possession. He's terrible in his own zone. Can't pass the goddamn puck. Can't fucking skate. He's useless. That was fun.
Tell us how you really feel.
I'm so done with it. We fucking traded Gordon for him.
Yeah.
Goddamn Commissioner Gordon.
Okay.
On the bright news, in mock GM trades, we successfully managed to dump Schultz, Lalation, and a 4th, and we got Gordon back.
Yay!
You traded Lalezia and him?
Not Lalezia, Lageson. I don't remember his name. We apparently have him. Hot fire, hot fire.
Anyway.
Adam's spitting that hot fire. Anyway, let's wrap up.
Clefbaum and Nuge is part of the issue. I'm just done with Korpikoski, and I'm pissed off. I'm going to go skiing for a week. See you guys later.
I'm going to add in one more thing.
Yeah.
Are you ending the stream right now?
Not yet.
Okay. I added one more thing. I think one of the biggest issues is our forwards are just straight up not back checking well enough.
It's certainly part of it. Our bottom six mess isn't helping much either with Letestu playing 3C and everybody being shuffled around constantly because nothing's working properly. It's a bit of a mess.
Okay. All right. So that's been myself, Runetic 5, Adam, Sweet 44722. And James Paul McCartney Thistle. And we're signing out. Nice to have you today for podcast number 17.
See you guys later.